Hey everyone, it's Matt. Welcome back to the Director's Commentary series. So we're on episode number 7. This was an episode I wanted to get out a lot sooner than I ended up getting it out whenever you're watching this. I'm not going to ramble too much about it, but I had a lot of delightful problems with my microphone and recording, as in it wouldn't pick up sound. It was all very random, so I had to scour the depths of YouTube, and I saw so many videos that did not help. They did absolutely nothing. I still had the same problem, and then I found this one after a long time searching, and I forget his name, but this wonderful guy solved my problem. It was just some weird computer setting. Anyway, no one really cares about that. Point is, the microphone's back working, and I'm able to record again. So that is just nice to hear, isn't it? Okay. So let's talk about the video itself, the video you are watching. I'm covering a video I filmed a couple years ago now, which was honestly one of my most fun explorations, and it's kind of a weird thing to say considering this was a night video, because night videos are usually kind of scary. They're kind of an unpleasant experience, and I'll tell you a little story though. It didn't start off very fun. So when I got here, first of all, this is in the middle of nowhere. Not really, kind of. It's kind of on the outside. I'm not gonna tell you where it is, but you could see I did have to walk down a country road, and it was like, I want to say like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So it was pretty early in the morning. And when I got here, well, I should mention the light pollution is pretty bad in this area. So when I got here, there was still like that. It wasn't exactly some sort of sky that was like full of stars. It was really just kind of, well, you know how it looks, right? So there was kind of an illumination coming from the sky. It wasn't like pitch black, but because there was a little bit of that, it's just so hard to describe. It's one of those things you kind of had to see. It's kind of hard to put into words. But when I got here, I kind of stood there. I feel like usually especially on night explorations, I take like a moment where I just stand there and like contemplate like what I'm doing. It takes like a few moments of, just takes a few moments to build up some courage to do what I'm about to do. And I was just kind of standing there, and I thought I saw a light like in this area, in this little wooded area, and I was like, what? Is there someone out here with like, it looked like a phone light, either a phone, like not necessarily a flashlight, but like a phone light. But they were just standing still. And I was, of course, kind of like, not totally freaking out because like I wasn't actually in the place yet. But, I was approaching it, and I was like, is there someone just standing there? And then I kept squinting, and I took another moment to look, and I just realized it was just a bit of the sky, like, passing through some of the trees, and it just kind of looked like a light. And it's so hard to describe, because if I say it like that, it sounds like, how did you even think that was a phone light? You would just have to see it. Okay, it was very hard to see. It was very dark. But anyway, so I realized that there was no one here, and I approached the farm. I guess this was a farm, and I went exploring. And once I got past that, I thought it was really fun. I wasn't really worried about people being here because, well, I'm sure some people have been here, of course, but this place, like, obviously is beside a road, but you could drive by it like 10 times, 100 times maybe, and you might not even know there's an abandoned farm back here. So it was a little bit hidden because of this little wooded area. And it was actually a place I found not by driving beside, because a lot of times I do find something where I'm just driving and I say, oh, look at that place. But yeah, this place you can't see from the road. And a lot of people do ask me how I end up finding locations, and one of the ways I do sometimes is just Google Earth. You can look on there and you can see some satellite views And that's actually how I found this place. I was just like looking around this area, and I just noticed some like buildings in the woods, and I was like, oh sweet. So I went down here and I walked down this dark road. Again, I'm not going to tell you where it was exactly, but I had no idea that there was that much here. Again, you can't tell that much, but I could tell there was some sort of abandoned place, so I went to go check it out. Now, the big thing in this video, of course, what we'll get to, was the old vintage food truck, which was probably one of the more fascinating finds. That I did not see from satellite view. I did not see that from above. That was a total surprise. And I wonder how long it's been there. I'm not an expert on, like, vintage vehicles. Not vintage food trucks, at least. And, oh yeah, this was a little fun moment. I was kind of piecing this thing together. I guess that was like some sort of... Was that a Halloween display? Or just some sort of display? You see, I'm sure he didn't look that creepy, but then he's been sitting there for this long and he's been broken up, so then he looked like really creepy. But yeah, anyway, it was actually a pretty peaceful location. Again, I got past like the whole fact that there was no one here, and that it was probably a location that not very many people knew about. I don't know, I felt kind of, I'm not going to say at ease, but I wasn't really worried about much. Definitely one of the more peaceful night explorations I've been on. Not that there's really much competition. But yeah, once I got in the groove, I was fine. And there's just a lot of junk sitting around here. And we're approaching the bus pretty soon. But in the meantime, I gotta find something to talk about. So I've mentioned... seeing the person that wasn't actually there. I've mentioned finding this place. Okay, I guess people have been here because there were like paths around. Like you can see people are walking. I'm not saying no one's been here. There's graffiti, but I don't think that many people have been here. And yes, there is the truck. I did not climb on that ladder. I'm certain that ladder was not there for a while, and then someone found that ladder probably in the barn or something and then moved it there and climbed on top. Yeah, that would have been fun if I would trust that wooden ladder, and if I didn't have like camera equipment with me. I wasn't gonna do that. But there you go, I did find the sign, which is in pretty good condition. I actually will say I don't really know how it stayed that well, but yeah, there it is. Obviously, it's seen better days, but this thing, like, I'm not joking, it is literally in the middle of this little wooded area. So everything grew around it. It must have been here a long time. A very long time. But it's a very interesting find. I was very happy to find this. And like I said, definitely one of the more interesting finds. Because again, you kind of know what to, like, obviously you find things, but like on Google Earth, I saw a farm. I did not see this vehicle. I had no idea that this was there. But anyway, we go inside. So you could use this as like some sort of survival shelter. You legitimately could. You could, if things were to hit the fan, you could find this food truck, chip truck, whatever you want to call it. You could find this and then stay in here. I mean, obviously people stuffed a lot of crap in here, but you could move that out and then you could stay in here. You could make some sort of shelter. I mean, it might not be the most comfortable place to stay in. It actually reminds me, because I just recently read Into the Wild. I'm not sure how many people. It was made into a movie, so it's a decent, popular book. But like the gist of it was this. It was a real story. This guy ended up living in the woods in Alaska, and there was this abandoned bus, and that's where he stayed in, and he ended up passing away in that very bus he was staying in. And now I look at this location and I'm like, wow, that's actually, I've seen the bus, obviously, like seen like pictures of it. It's kind of similar looking, and it's kind of the similar thing where it's kind of just right smack dab in the middle of the woods, and you just kind of wonder how it got there and how long it's been sitting there for. But anyway, and yeah, there's the ladder, which I was not willing to climb. It's not like you'd see much anyway, it's dark. I wonder what this would look like during the day, you know. Obviously it's creepy at night, but I think this would actually be a pretty nice location during the day. You can also see here how I definitely went in the fall and not the middle of summer. I think I can't remember when I filmed this exactly, but it doesn't look like summer because there's leaves all over the ground. So if this was, like, say in the middle of like July or something, this might be all overgrown and you might just become a tick magnet. So I think I filmed it at a good time, but who knows, maybe I will come back. Maybe during the day. See, usually if I film something during the day, it's like you keep it open to come at night, but if you film something at night, no one really cares that much to see it during the day. I don't know, maybe that's just me. There's a little moth who was following me around because I had my light, which, you know, he's a moth, don't blame him. Okay, I gotta shut up. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna see you in the next director's commentary.